So here now, through the magic of video, it's Andy.
What? He's gone.
But no. Andy is, before he leaves, going to give us his thoughts on his favorite Black Mirror episode of this season, Hang the DJ. The floor is yours, Andy.
Yeah, I think this one maybe ties for my favorite, along with USS Callister.
Oh, yes.
This and Hang the DJ, the two number ones, I think. This one, I spent some time on dating apps.
Oh, okay.
Kind of a terrible world.
Fair enough.
And, you spend a lot of time on there, go on a few dates, nothing really happens, and you're like, all right, maybe I'll move on. Is there any way to make these better? And then, people talk about all the time. You talk to your other single friends that are doing that and talk about, like, why does this not work? These are just not made to... I feel awful when I use them. Once in a while you'll have a good date, but still, nothing worthwhile. So this brings into the idea, all right, well, how do we perfect this? So somebody comes up with the idea that using that same sort of technological trend of making a copy of your consciousness, to upload your consciousness to the simulation that will run a dating simulation against other people's cloned consciousness up to 1,000 times. That's their sample size. And the person with whom you reach a 98% match with in those simulations is supposedly your one to be.
Whoa.
One to be with. So it's a real kind of mystery for most of the episode. You're kind of like, where are these people? Did they get shipped off to some retreat somewhere? And they just don't mention how they got there. There's some other kind of weird occurrences, like every time they skip a stone on the lake, it's never less than or more than 4 times that it skips on the water. So that's one of the things they notice, and they go, when you skip a stone, have you ever done more or less than 4? That's kind of odd. They have no jobs, apparently. They just kind of hang out all day and then go to dinner at night.
Yeah.
So this whole time you're like, where are they? But then you figure out, okay, they're in a computer program. And the test is, you get put on different dates every night, and when you're on a date, you can reveal, if the other person agrees, your expiration date on that relationship. So when a couple meets, they'll be like, do you want to find out? And then they push the button, and it'll say, this relationship will be over in 36 hours, or 12 hours, or 5 years. Whatever it is, you just stick it out till the end. And the reason, I guess, the reference to the DJ is you have a little device that kind of sticks with you that you call your coach.
Ah.
And you can ask it questions. It recommends your next match in the program. Tells you how long.
Does it look like a paperclip?
It looks like a little... yeah, it looks like...
It's clippy.
A little clippy. It's like a little white disc, kind of.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So, cool idea. Would you be willing to subject your consciousness, albeit a copy, but a fully sentient copy?
Yeah, well, if you think about it like the Callister, then, what are you doing?
Yeah.
That's true.
Or White Christmas, same thing, where she used a copy, like a clone of her consciousness to, like, run her house.
And basically, yes, and commit it to
a lifetime
of servitude.
Yeah.
Like, oh, great.
Exactly.
But it was a lighter in tone. I still at this point haven't seen
yes.
this, but it was a lighter episode.
Yeah, it's very hopeful.
Yes.
Much lighter in tone. Funny.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like a rom-com.
So if you put the expiration date of your relationship at 12 hours, does it try to run 1,000 simulations in 12 hours?
No, see, the thing is, every date you go on in that world is, I guess, counts as one.
Yeah.
So you have your 2 leads that meet up for the first date. And they meet up, their first time they reveal the expiration date, it's 12 hours. And they go, oh, that's a little short. So they're like, I guess you have to see the date through to the end. Whatever the time limit is, you have to see it through to the end. So they're like, all right, I guess we'll go back. They hang out at the apartment, nothing happens, but they're like, this was nice. Man, I wish it was longer. They split up, they get paired up with new people, and it's for much longer.
Much longer.
Much longer. He gets like a year, she gets like 5 years. And during that time, you're dating other people, trying to meet your 1,000 with other people's consciousnesses.
Gotcha.
And then you find out at the end that they've been through this like 999 times before.
And so on the 1,000th time...
Or they're actually different versions of them you see at the end.
Yeah, different versions of themselves, yeah.
So...
Cool. It's a fun premise and hopeful.
Yes,
and,
yes.
and
Yeah.
people aren't put in jail by sentient guinea pigs that see them and watch their actions.
Yeah.
All right. Yes.
Voila.
So
We just black mirrored Andy.
we did.
Unfortunately, he's moved on.
Yes, he has.
But he did leave us his description of his favorite episode. So, with that said, Paul, what did you think of Hang the DJ?
I liked it.
Bing!
Yeah.
All right, very good. And that's it. That's
Any
our
other
video.
thoughts?
Great, we'll just put that on. Okay.
No, it was interesting seeing the contrast between that world where it was all these strange rules. The security people who were like watching them or whatever, and and then seeing the final, like, oh yeah, that looks like the world I recognize. People going to the bars and just, hey, I think that's her. I'm not sure. It was a lot more formal in the in the original setup. So it was nice because I was fearing. Like, oh God, look at this, it's like he ruins a relationship, and then it's just he's gonna blow his brains out, or he's gonna
That this
become a
futuristic
robot
world
or something. And I thought it was like, wow, it's gonna go
driven
wrong,
him
and it didn't
to
go wrong.
madness.
It ended happily. So
All right, now I will say that yes, it does end happily, but I'll throw in there's a little interesting. There's a subtle dystopianness to it, in that,
because they have to escape because they're told that they can't be together.
right? Well, I think the overall message seems to be this is Frank and Amy are the two simulations,
Sure.
and they make the decision. We're gonna climb the wall.
Yes.
We're getting out of here. I don't
Yes.
care what's on the other side.
Yep.
We're doing this.
Yep.
And so they rebel against the system, which is actually what that thing's called, right? It's like the system, I believe, is what so they're rebelling against the system successfully. And that means that the real Frank and Amy in London, I guess, or in a bar somewhere, are called a match.
Yeah.
And they look down at their little devices, and ding,
Yep.
you're a match.
Yep.
So, while there is a sense of love is about rebellion, love is about, doing it for yourself and not trusting the system. At the end, the real life Frank and Amy trust the system.
Yeah.
And so they're like, oh, great.
Well,
I'll let this thing tell me what to do.
Well, here's how I looked at it.
Okay.
The correct way.
Okay.
Which is that the whole system was trying to say, like, what you want is the important thing. And so an understanding of who they are as people, it's like, all these different simulations, that's what they're designed to find out. So if they weren't supposed to be together, then they should have been like, oh, well, I guess, things are getting in the way. Like,
Sure.
why did she do that? So that's it, I'll leave. He
Breathes
decided
funny.
not to.
I don't like it.
Yeah. He decided not to trust in our relationship, and so therefore maybe he's not really worth being around. So forget it. So that whole bit of their relationship, lets you see that it's really the fact that they really did like each other that caused them to.
Right. We believe that the system is working in that case, in other words.
Yeah.
What the system has told them is accurate.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that it is the system that comes
That
up
they
with the
rebel.
solution.
Yeah, if you look at it, that it really is a rebellion. But no, the whole purpose of them being involved with it is to find who they were. So you could say it was ironic that the system was trying to keep them apart. But the system was trying to say, are you really want to be together?
Which is interesting. I guess it's interesting, too. It is one of the things that's kind of fun about... And I'll add the last episode we saw, Crocodile, into this, too. In that episode, I know it's not your favorite, but it's not necessarily the quality of the episode, it's the nature of it. In that episode, while it is dystopian and things are weird, the technology, while it causes problems, works. Like, she is caught. In Crocodile, the killer is caught because the guinea pig saw the thing and they
Yes.
arrest her.
Yeah.
So the actual product, the technology works.
Sure.
And in this one, the technology works. We're led to believe that Frank and Amy are going to make a good match.
Well, the other one, the technology worked. You could see your daughter's life through her eyes.
Right.
That worked too.
It worked too. So it's interesting because usually when you have a dystopian future in a science world, it's usually that the technology doesn't work. Like the technology goes, and there's a Frankenstein's monster.
I
or
think you
something.
could argue
Yeah.
that's what.
It's just kind of interesting to say that the problem isn't that it's broken. The problem is its nature in and of itself. Maybe, I don't know.
In this one?
I guess there's not a problem in this one.
No.
It's good. Awesome. Dating is perfected.
It's like if you assume, like all we really saw, to be honest, is the two of them see each other and think that they were, okay. Like, that's all.
I liked that they didn't say anything.
They didn't say anything. You never actually saw if it was true or not.
Right. Good point.
So,
and obviously, so Hang the DJ, it's from the song Panic. I know, I'm always big on these references, but I thought about it, I was like, how is that tied in? Because they play the song Panic at the end. I was waiting for them to play it the whole time. Like, when's it coming? When's it coming? When's the song? When's the song? How important is it? Anyway, so it's at the end when the real Frank and Amy meet at the bar.
Yes.
And so, the theme of it is rebellion. The theme of the song is, it says, burn down the disco, hang the blessed DJ, because the music they constantly play says nothing to me about my life. And basically it's this idea of, well, actually, if you want to go deep dive into Morrissey for a second here, I'm a Morrissey fan, whatever. So be it. But apparently it was written...
Did he write a lot of Hobbit songs?
He wrote some of the most amazing Lord of the Rings songs. He and Howard Shore together. I wish. Damn it. No. All right. Anyway, apparently, the song was written as a reaction to when the Chernobyl incident happened.
Okay.
And so, members of the Smiths are hanging out, like whatever, in London. They hear, "Oh my God, Chernobyl! That's awful." And then the DJ right away is like, "Yeah, Chernobyl just had a horrible incident. We might all be dying. It's nuclear radiation is spreading. And here's a song from, da 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 da." And so they were like, "What? How could you possibly go back to the thing that's important?" But so the idea is that this overarching DJ, kind of the culture at large, is kind of telling you some stuff that you think is important, that they think you would find important, and it's not. It's what you find important is important. And so it's for Frank and Amy rebelling, and then conversely accepting what they've been told.
Well, what they think is important. It doesn't have to be like they're telling somebody. I mean, your assertion, it's pretty damn weak what they try to do to keep them apart. Just come at them. And tell them what to do, and they did it.
Let's talk about... So, kind of the moment when things go south is when Frank decides to look at the expiration date. Okay. Which obviously is a breach of trust. They shook hands,
right.
Which is, kind of their, I promise we're not going to check the expiration date.
Right.
Got it.
And
okay, but go, sorry.
I was going to say that, let's see. She was in a long, tedious relationship.
She was in, actually, so hers was 9 months and his was a year. So she actually was in a slightly less long one than him, and then she got in a series of short ones to kind of catch up.
Right, okay, yeah. And his was so much worse than hers.
Right. Well, for hers, it was like the sex was good and he was good looking, but he wasn't really a conversationalist, and she got
He
more.
wasn't really matched for that, so little things annoyed her. Yeah. But for him, it was just out missed. Man. They should have been like, I am bailing. This is not working.
And he keeps checking the thing like, oh God, another 5 months left. Okay. But he's like, nope, I'm sticking with it.
Right. So, it's interesting that, perhaps an expression of who she is as a person is that she's the kind of person who would have even less use for the system in theory than he would, and so he's paranoid and insecure, and so he has to look.
I was just thinking, there is a slight mitigating factor to me in that there is an expiration date. It's not like if you were to put it in a real world context out of the simulation, and it's just two people having a relationship, they don't know when it's going to end, and they would rather not think about that. And whatever. Like in this case, because it's an artificial world,
Yes.
there is an actual end
Yes,
date.
yes.
There is a time when the
Yes.
little golf carts are going to show up
Yes.
and drive you off to the other place.
Yeah.
You know, knowledge of that would be something you would want to know. I mean, like at any moment, a golf cart could show up and take you away. Like that, the knowledge that literally you could be on borrowed time and this is it. Like would drive you not just for selfish reasons, but just for like my own sanity. I'd like to know: is this thing going to end in 2 minutes? I don't know. I feel
So
like
you would want to know.
I feel like I'm just saying he has, as opposed to just being like selfishly negligent or something. There's a I feel like there's an emotional wellness aspect of I gotta know. Am I is this literally about to be done against my wishes? I don't know. I feel like I can understand why he would check.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I can definitely see that. I thought I didn't know what you were.
Oh, okay. I'm just saying. I feel like it kind of casts it almost like as a oh boy, what a horrible mistake he made. Well, yeah, okay, yes, but
Right, but they promised though.
Yeah.
So I guess the cool way to do it is like I really want to check, and if they'd done it together,
right.
but no, they didn't do it together, and of course they didn't foresee that, and so that was another test for them. That was their first real fight.
Right.
And so she decided to end it. Oh, I can't beat with you if you're going to look at that damn machine.
I also like how
it was nice. I like the way it
yeah, recalibrating,
Yeah,
recalibrating.
yeah.
And interestingly, their fight, it's not at the exact, I think, at the zero of their relationship, but their fight is more or less what breaks them up.
Yeah.
He's like, we've only got about an hour left, or less than an hour, and they fight and they split up anyway. Like they almost chose to split up at the same time that they were gonna break up, which is kind of an interesting development in that case.
Wow.
So
So they didn't really go into detail about it. I mean, in terms of whether or not they actually uploaded their consciousness or not, we actually don't know that.
we don't know that.
It's possible that what we were seeing is just an expression of what the program is doing. So, it's like, really, there was just a bunch of ones and zeros and algorithms, and it didn't actually have anything to do with their consciousness necessarily. Maybe it just had a profile of them that was really detailed, and, let's just take that, just like in The Matrix, the guy's looking at the numbers, and he said, okay, that's a blonde, that's a brunette, I know. So we had a filter showing what the computer is doing, but really it's just a bunch of programs.
Right.
It's like if you look at the difference between they go to restaurants where they're like bouncers that make sure they stay at their table.
Right,
or
with
whatever.
tasers.
Yeah.
I was like, so because obviously we had, Andy gave his description before I watched the actual thing, so I was spoiled a bit on it.
Yeah, and
But-
that was another thing I was going to say, Dave. Like, don't ask them questions.
But here's the thing that I didn't get out of that, which maybe I should have, but I didn't. As I was watching it, because it's Black Mirror, I assumed the worst.
Oh.
So what I was thinking is,
He told you it was.
no, he told me, I knew it was. I knew the ending would be happy, but I thought it was a world with those were people. Like they were people, kind of
actual
like
people.
like the USS Callister, where they put
Right,
their
right.
consciousnesses into people.
Yeah, I think
are,
that's what he might believe, or Andy might believe, but I don't know. I don't know that that's truth.
Well, the fact that when they started climbing the wall, everything went into computer code.
Yeah.
I assume that was
Yeah.
they're a simulation.
Yeah.
So that makes it better, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah,
To
they're
me,
not actually people.
they're
stuck
not
in
people.
yeah.
Like I'm always this guy constantly going.
It's like, well, we've got all these 100 different versions of you in this computer now.
Yeah.
Boy, we're gonna need a lot more computers.
But yeah. So as I watched it, thinking they were people, actual people with these other consciousness put on there, I was thinking like, oh man, yeah, this world is weird. Why can't they ever come up with something other than golf carts in the future? But they don't get to order. They always go to the same restaurant more or less.
Yeah.
They don't appear to have. Here's what I was expecting
Yeah, they
too.
didn't have jobs.
They didn't have jobs. I was thinking because they had that whole bit. Andy mentioned it about the every time you skip a rock,
Yes.
it's 4 times, and that was
Right.
kind of them starting to, like, when Frank calls it out. I think we're in a simulation. He even says it, like, "Damn, well done, sir." But I was waiting for someone just to like throw the rock into the water
Yeah.
without trying to skip it,
Yeah.
and then watch it like boop 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 boop, like to see if like start testing the system. They did not do that. But,
Yeah, that'd be a pretty glaring programming error.
and it kind of reminded me in that way, in somewhat of like the Truman Show, right? It felt a little bit like that, where he suddenly started realizing, like, wait, I can do anything, and the world adapts to me, and then he ends up climbing a wall, and it doesn't turn into a computer program.
No, it doesn't do that.
But he realizes that the world is it's a bit of a sham,
Yes.
built around just to gauge his reactions.
Yes.
It's a strong episode.
Yeah.
It's no one dies.
No
right?
one
Am I wrong?
that we're aware of.
No one aware of dies.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, they disappear into the
They all
simulation
die.
void. all 1,000. Oh, here's a question. Andy, when he was talking about it, he theorized that each date was one encounter, like one of the 1,000 simulations.
Yeah.
I wonder.
date?
I
wouldn't
wonder
say
if
that.
I wonder if that entire what we saw was one.
Yes.
I think so. In
Yes.
other words, the multiple
That's- yes.
pairings
That's
leading
what I
to their
think.
escape. Yeah, that's what I think too.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like that wasn't 3.
No.
That was one
Yeah.
simulation.
Yeah, because starting from the beginning, what happens? Okay, let's run it again, change whatever. Starting from the beginning, when they first meet, what happens? So I think there were 100 different versions, and a lot of them, most of them, ended up in that, climbing that thing, or in that place, basically.
Right. Okay. Good. Yeah, that's what I thought too. So we're in agreement.
We're in agreement.
Look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, what do you think, Andy? Oh, he's not here.
We'll have to Black Mirror him back. Damn it. Next time. That was episode 4.
Yeah.
We will do episodes 5 and 6 as well. Meanwhile, covering.
I have to watch 5 now.
Whoa. Oh, yeah, that's right. So you've watched 5. I have not.
Let's see, which one is 5?
He's going to say that while I'm telling you what else is coming. We're going to be doing Star Trek Discovery. And with a little luck, I think we're going to try to do The Alienist. We're going to watch it, see what it's like. I am speed reading the book right now.
Are you? Good.
Huh? How about that? I'm
to
nowhere
be,
near the finish of the book, but I've read part of it. There's a bit of that book I've read. So we'll do The Alienist and Star Trek Discovery and Black Mirror.
Yes, we will.
There'll be other things coming. I know there's another thing in my brain that's like, remember that thing, and I can't remember what that is, but
Me neither.
something's
I can't
coming.
remember it.
Something is coming. Plus, we got things like Black Panther is coming up.
Yeah, so Metalhead, I barely watched. Actually, I started to watch it.
You
I was
gotta
like,
watch
this
it
is
then.
so depressing. So yeah, I
Oh.
will watch it.
So it's an uplifter.
Yeah, it's like up, hang the DJ, hey! And the other one, Metalhead.
Metalhead. I'm not sure
maybe
what
that's
Morrissey's song that
uplifting
is.
And,
He did Suede Head. That's not really the same. Okay. Anyway, we will be back to talk about that incredibly depressing episode
Yeah,
next
I
time.
can't wait.
Yay! All right. Subscribe if you want to see depressing things, and also sci-fi fun things. Do that. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Andy. In the Mirror Universe. We'll be back next time.